On April 14th, 2015, NetherRealm Studios graced fans and fighting gamers with the next title following MK9, Mortal Kombat X. This title was a soft reboot of Mortal Kombat 4 by reintroducing Shinnok and a big wave of newcomers. With the upgrade to new hardware jumping from the 7th to 8th generation of consoles, so did the gore and fighting. Along with those upgrades came improved X-rays. With 34 characters in MKX, we're continuing all supers ranked as we rank all 34 of the MKX X-rays from the worst to the best.
Fight!
Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. My name is Nick, and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so, click the subscribe button to join the Whack Pack today, and to stay tuned for some more fighting game ranking videos. Today, we're looking at MKX, the title many fans consider to be one of the best fighters of 2015, and one of the best Mortal Kombat games. One of its bright spots are the improved X-rays. When comparing these to the supers from MK9, these are a huge improvement in quality, ranging from the level of detail to how well they fit each character. As you know by now, these are going to be ranked based on how creative they are, the pacing, the brutality, along with how well they fit to the character. If there is one that I do rank low, I'll be sure to say something positive about it. Even the ones that I rank low I still think are good, none of which of these I think are bad. With that, let's take a look and rank 34 of the heavily updated X-rays from Mortal Kombat X. Alright, of all of these X-rays, which one of them is the weakest of the bunch? Sadly, taking the last spot is the pre-order bonus and Prince of the Shokan, Goro. Although it is nice he's finally playable since MK Armageddon, this is a super huge step down from his MK9 Super. Jerking your head around like a Joy-Con and then stretching the body to grow them taller is just okay. This really could have used something more tailored to Goro, such as his Super Stomp or his Command Grab flurry of punches. Sorry Goro, you may be a Furious Combat, but this is not doing it for me. Up next on our list is the celebrated war veteran and character most likely to win an arm wrestling competition, Jax. This is another super where I wish it could have used a different approach. Sure, it highlights his Jax grappler archetype, but imagine if the startup included a ground pound where the opponent flies into Jax's hands, followed up with a gotcha grab face break or something like that. That easily would make it jump up plenty of placements. It may be a good one, but it's not one that'll gotcha grab your attention. Moving ahead tactically one more placement is the other Special Forces veteran of the roster, Sonya Blade. For being the only counter-based super move in the game, this super is not that special. It really feels a lot more like a command grab and less like an X-ray. I wish it incorporated more drone-based stuff into her special move, or even some grapple stuff outside of just using the wire. I don't have much else to say, it just doesn't stick the landing for me. At least it's over with quickly and it doesn't drone on either. I'm sad to put one of my favorite video game characters this low on the list, but number one will go to Sub-Zero. As pointed out by Amanda is Trans in the comments, this feels too similar to his MK9 X-ray, going for a similar approach by attacking their liver and then hitting their head. But it is a bit different as he rips a portion of their liver off, freezes the juices, and then stabs their face. Still not bad, but I wish the Grandmaster took a different approach with this one. But, like the Ice Spear, it's to the point. Alright, so the bottom four were more disappointing ones or ones that I felt that missed the mark. The rest of these I consider to be good or great. If there is one I rank low, it's not bad, I just think it's missing something or could use a slight improvement overall. I wanted to get that out of the way first before we continued. So with that, let's keep rolling. Just cracking into the top 30 is our second DLC character and someone we haven't seen since MK Deception, Tanya. Though I was happy to see her make her return, I am not a huge fan of her super. This one is a bit too repetitive for my liking, as she goes for the head and neck multiple times in this one. Though it's cute she does a callback to her neck twist fatality from MK4, I just wish it incorporated more of her staples, like her tonfa and weapons or something like that. Like her staff, I'm not a fan of this one. Stumbling his way into number 29 is the character whose name is a literal play on the words for drunk in Spanish, Bo Rai Cho. This drunken master has an okay one as well. I do like each of the strikes he makes. However, to make it flow and cap off in a great way, I'd swap the second and final strikes, so he would jump off of their back and then do the people's elbow to their neck to finish them off. Overall, not bad for the drunk of Mortal Kombat. Next on our list is the first of 4 combat kids introduced in MKX, this one being Kung Jin. This cousin of Kung Lao showcases his skills with a bow and arrow, shooting both eyes, then grabbing the arrows to slam them onto their back. It's not super flashy, but it's pretty simple and good overall. Not much else I can really say there. Glitching ahead to number 27 is Error Macro himself, Ermac. As brutal and well shot this one is, I wish it took more advantage of his spectral powers outside of flying into the opponent over and over again. It really could use a throwback to his telekinetic slam or even some callback to his MK9 X-ray. It does remind me a little bit of Tanya's where it does too much damage to the head, neck, and, well, face overall. But at least it's extremely unique using some flying elements with like him headbutting them and then kicking him in the head, which I found to be pretty cool. Besides that, this one is pretty brutal, but not magical enough to land higher on this list. Stalking and slashing into number 26 is the Crystal Lake Killer, Jason Voorhees. This super really showcases how Jason is skilled with his signature machete. Stabbing through their head and breaking their neck are great first 2 actions, but I'm a bit mixed on the final stab. It just seems kinda generic. I really wish he did some sleeping bag slam to break their ribs or spine, something that feels, you know, more Jason-like. Besides that, he really made a killing with his super. Punching our way into number 25 is the daughter to Jax and the second combat kid we'll be looking at, Jackie Briggs. I really like how this goes for a different approach, doing a real-time X-ray with her punching their ribs into dust, followed by a solid jaw-breaking uppercut. Though I find the last hit to be just okay, it's still pretty good. Way to make your father proud, Jackie. Flying into 24 is one of many newcomers introduced in MKX, and one whose name actually translates to bee in Hebrew, Devora. This is a unique one as it's all done airborne, having the swarm of bees lift the opponent and then having her stingers stab through them to use as leverage to break their back. Like her stingers, it's quick and right to the point. Charge kicking into 23 is the Hollywood himbo, Johnny Cage. Where many of these supers take advantage of supernatural abilities and weapons, Johnny Cage is a standout for having an effective super where he's just beating you up with his own set of legs, truly making Jean-Claude proud. All of this has a real nice flow to it, ending with the perfectly signature flip kick. As Uncaged Games would say, you just got caged. Time to move ahead to the Special Forces' most wanted target, the Black Dragon leader Kano. Almost all of these X-rays moved from being 2 actions to 3 action supers between titles. Of the small number of 2 action supers, this is one of the most effective ones, using one of Kano's knives to split the entire ribcage in 2, then taking advantage of his grappler trait in this game to break their neck in a brutal fashion. Way to cut right in and make an impact, Kano. Already at the legal drinking age number is the Princess of Outworld and the Netherrealm, Kitana. Talk about a beautiful startup animation looking like a beautiful dance, which does lead to some deadly fan action. Pretty brutal with the blades being thrown into the neck and then they dig deeper after she slams them into the ground. Great pacing and cinematic shots, ending with a nice flow with her kneeing them in the face. Like her super from MK9, I too am a fan of this one. Headed into the top 20 with Syzoth, also known as Reptile. This feels like an upgrade of the version from MK9 with some nice alterations to make it feel different enough. Guess like a better take than Sub-Zero's X-ray. The jaw snap is enough to make anyone cringe, the gouging of the eyes and smashing the skull is a good way to cap it off. Talk about a jaw-dropping X-ray. Moving on ahead to another classic ninja, the fan favorite Mileena. This includes a lot of Mileena's elements, the dive kicks to start it off, sides to the face and to the head while biting the skull like she were a possessed animatronic in the year 1987. It's a great way to incorporate a lot of her elements effectively and efficiently. Also, if you think this is really brutal, just wait until MK11 Fatal Blows. Her super is one you're not gonna wanna miss. Absorbing Earthrealm's power at 18 is the final boss of MKX, Corrupted Shinnok. For a super you rarely see, it's pretty alright and pretty brutal. Though I love the first 2 actions, I think the final hit is kind of weak and could use another exclusive Shinnok-y element to make it stronger. Imagine if you took one of his demons and it just dive bombed him into the ground to like smash their face or something like that. Overall, still a brutal super from the final boss. Assembling into the 17th spot is the Cyber Initiative's best cyborg, Triborg. I like how each cyborg is represented with each action. Cyrax's detachable body being used at the start, rocket-propelling body highlighting Sector, and then the Izuna airdrop highlighting Smoke. Pretty brutal and it all flows extremely well together. Teamwork really makes the dream work. Filling in at 16 is the new Khan of Outworld, Kotal Khan. This Aztec warrior brings some real brutality with his super, starting with some god rays to burn the opponent and then charging with the knife to stab right into their neck. Then to treat their neck like the second step of a bop it, capping it with a knee to the face. I've heard some complain that the final hit is a bit weak, but I think it's just a simple way to end it. Way to showcase the might of a Khan, Kotal. Getting over here at number 15 is the poster boy of this series, and the character with the biggest glow up in comparison to his original super, Scorpion. Where I said he had the weakest super in MK9, he's got a pretty solid one here. Starting off with a fiery Psycho Crusher to piss off M. Bison, kneeing their face to launch them upwards, and then using his spears to stab them and then pull them down is pretty awesome. Along with the brutality, it's shot very well and fits the character extremely well. This won't be the last time Scorpion will utilize his spears for a super move. Be sure to see where his fatal blow will rank once I cover those. Time to rock and roll into the 14th spot with one of the more requested characters to join MKX, Tremor. This earth-shattering ninja is an absolute brute, and he showcases that greatly by summoning rocks to beat the opponent against them. Extremely brutal and extremely creative, with an amazing flow. This super really showcases Tremor's stalagmite. Tag teaming at 13 is the Master Blaster inspired set of characters, Ferrator. This super has a great 3-action structure, having the brute of the crew break your skull and then your ribs to send you upward, to perfectly flow with Farah stabbing their face with some eyeball popping grossness. It's adorable seeing these two fighters make for some playtime that fits their personalities so well. Heading into number 12 with the remaining member of the Deadly Alliance, Quan Chi. Time to look at what I think is the most effective 2-action super move. Real nice use of the portals and summons to take advantage of smashing their head, using momentum to make the teleport stomp more effective than usual. It's extremely fitting for just Quan Chi. Now I feel the only thing that would make it better is if you somehow managed to do the next stretch from Deadly Alliance and you could see the bones getting all messed up. Jokes aside, great work from the Dark Sorcerer of the Netherrealm. It's just cool as hell. Chasing the opponent down at number 11 is the Ed Gein-inspired killer from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface. Armed with his trusty chainsaw, he goes for some ripping and tearing, like a Doomslayer low on ammo, ripping apart their ribs and spraying blood on the screen in a very cool way. Smashing their head with a meat tenderizing hammer and then stomping them against the chainsaw is a good way to end it. Where many were disappointed with Leatherface's inclusion, you can't deny the team really put in their work by delivering some awesome X-rays and fatalities. This butcher really knows what he's doing. Bicycle kicking into the top 10 with the champion of Mortal Kombat turned revenant of Quan Chi, Liu Kang. Of the humans just doing human things to you, this has to be one of my favorites. I love how he delivers a knuckle sandwich with a side order of ass-kicking sauce to beat you up, all done in real time where others slow down the action. I really feel it could use some dragon kick or bicycle kick to make it exclusively feel like Liu Kang to wrap it up. It makes it stand out quite a bit instead of having each strike being the breaking point like many others. Really cool just to have a super move include a flurry of hits. Overall, this one packs a real punch, or chop, or palm, or whatever. Hunting its prey at number 9 is one of my favorite fictional characters of all time, the Predator. What a way to utilize the Predator's more iconic weapons, starting with a blast from the plasma caster, the smart disc catching their neck and pinning them to the ground, then using his wrist blade to target a specific organ and then stabbing their stomach causing it to explode. One of my favorite little details is seeing the opponent flail around in absolute fear, squirming on the floor. It just adds a lot of fear factor to make it stand out much more. This ultimate hunter knows all the right moves for the thrill of the hunt. Entering the 8th spot is the fallen elder god, Shinnok. This bone-shaping sorcerer has quite the fun and moody one, starting off with the most powerful backhand known to man, using his powers to crush their ribs and then taking a spear to their sternum to wrap it all up. For a villain I'm pretty mixed on, this is quite a surprisingly good super move and one of the more memorable ones. Guess you can say it just slaps. Cutting right into the 7th spot is the Zatoichi-inspired fighter, Kenshi. Where his first X-ray is focused on just cutting the opponent, this gets a major improvement by utilizing both Sento and telekinesis to mess up the opponent real good. Stabbing their face, breaking the skull, and then stabbing the opponent just flows so well and it looks so awesome. Way to take a stab at it and make a great super move, Kenshi. Speaking of Kenshi, our second to last combat kid on this list is the apprentice to Hanzo Hasashi and son to Kenshi, Takeda. Armed with his whips, Takeda really messes up the opponent, puncturing their face, breaking their spine after zipping around them, and then busting their skull beyond recognition. Of the X-rays we've seen, this is definitely one of the more brutal ones on this list, which helps it rank up so high on this list. Way to whip it really good, Takeda.
Wow, that hurts to watch.
Lightning cracking into the top 5 with the Thunder God, Raiden. I'm guessing Raiden took some inspiration from Injustice Gods Among Us, because this is one of the more superhero-y or supervillain super moves in this whole game. Sending the opponent skyward into a giant storm to then grab them by their spine and electrocute them, striking them back down, then breaking their back is awesome. No one else on this roster can show godly might like Raiden. All of this being shot so well and it makes for a visual treat. Quite shocking to see this one up so high. Creepily crawling into number 4 is our final guest on this list, Alien. This is a great reference to aliens as a whole, starting with a Tarkatan stab to then impale the opponent with its tail multiple times, catching them and then throwing them on their face. Probably the most perfect way to end this one is by crawling over, picking up their head, and then doing a hidden chomp. Even if you're not familiar with aliens or xenomorphs, this is still a top tier X-ray. After this one's done on the opponent, all they can probably say is, game over, man, game over. Dive kicking into the 3rd spot is the Shaolin warrior of Mortal Kombat, Kung Lao. Talk about a huge improvement over his first X-ray from MK9. Starting with a flurry of kicks, then throwing his hat into their skull is an amazing start. I love how he follows it up by recreating his MK2 grab by throwing them onto their chest, perfectly capping it off by teleporting and kneeing their chest. All of this incorporates a bunch of Kung Lao's signature moves and characteristics, blending it all perfectly well. On top of that, including some great pacing and framing. Hats off to you, Kung Lao. Our runner-up comes from the gunslinger of Outworld, Aaron Black. For how much I wasn't a fan of his fatalities from this game, this is probably one of the more clever supers we've seen. Putting a bullet with the opponent's name on it and then having the bullet ricochet all around their inside is such a cool concept. Also, talk about the amazing reference to Predator when done on him. This is just another prime example of how creative the NetherRealm Studios team is when it comes to these super moves. Talk about making your shot. Our number 1 spot goes to the leader of the Combat Kids and daughter of the OG Ballbuster and Cooter Crusher, Cassie Cage. Talk about all the hallmarks of a great X-ray. A real nice startup animation, good flow, and some extremely cringy parts. This is probably the one super many people remember the most, and for good reason. I'm not afraid to say it's the best one in the game, and Dr. Chris Rayner thinks it's the most absurd, which I also agree with. This one deserves a top spot for how insane and over the top it is, along with how much advantage it takes of the character. This one is just nuts.
Please clap.
So there's my ranking of all 34 of the Mortal Kombat X super moves ranked. Ranking all of these X-rays was a huge challenge as all of these have so much personality. So please, let me know yours down below, whatever your top 5 are, or if you're down for it, an entire ranking of all 34. Again, my list isn't the definitive list, it's just my opinion and I'd love to see where you're coming from. So I'd love to have you join the discussion with me down below. I hope you're enjoying the stream of content coming your way. With that, we're more than halfway finished ranking all the super moves from the NetherRealm Studios fighters. The next super moves ranked we'll cover is 2017's Injustice 2, which you can watch Monday, March 13th at 8 AM. Be sure to stay tuned on the community tab for more updates coming to the channel. And while you're at it, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. It'll mean a ton. Also, because I've had a few requests, don't be afraid to reach out to me on Xbox as well. I'd be down to play some matches of Mortal Kombat, KI, or even some Fortnite or Evil Dead with you all. Maybe I'll get a session with subscribers put together soon and include the highlights. Again, thank you so much for your support. My name is Nick, and have a great day.